this is Tamera Weeks. Welcome to Tam's Daily Vlog. I have some very exciting news that I'm really excited about. I am going to start a series of videos, and the series will be Family Life with Cerebral Palsy series. So I hope that you enjoy this. If you have any questions, if you'll send me some questions, I can put them in on videos. What I'm going to start with today is I'm going to start with a mother's perspective of having a special needs child. I'm going to go all the way back to the beginning. I won't do it all in 5 minutes today. I'll kind of separate it up. I tried really hard to be organized with this and started jotting down some notes, and I have to be somewhat organized on this part or I'll think of something and I'll get really random with you, so I'm going to try really hard not to do that. I don't have a complete plan mapped out, but what I'm thinking is I'll start with my perspective, and then we'll have William come in and have him give his perspective being a dad. Then we can talk about, as a couple raising Micah. And I'm going to interview some of the siblings and ask them, so what is it like growing up with your oldest sibling having cerebral palsy? They can do everything that Micah can't do, and when they were very, very young, they were strapping Micah into the van when they were like 3 and 4 years old. I remember them doing that. And so they had to take on the older role when they were very, very young. So I thought we would just cover a lot of different aspects like that, and then if you have any questions, I can add those in. And if we go back to the very beginning of Micah, or go back before Micah actually, I got married when I was 22, William was 21, we're 11 months apart. My birthday's in January, his birthday's in December. And 12 months later, Micah was born. It was 2 weeks after our 1-year anniversary that Micah was born. She was born October 30th, 1987. And I remember the day that I thought maybe I was pregnant. And I remember the chair I was sitting in and where I was sitting. And I cried and I cried and I cried. And then I thought, oh, I'm not pregnant. And then I was. And my pregnancy, I don't remember feeling really well really in any of my pregnancies. I have 6 children, and I just never really did the pregnancy thing real well. Some women just feel their absolute best. I never felt my absolute best. Toward the end of my pregnancy, my blood pressure went up too high. I don't remember what it went to. That was a long, long time ago. I just remember my blood pressure was high, and they were watching me. Micah was a home birth. We have 2 older children, 4 younger boys. Both of the girls were born in Houston, Texas, at home with a midwife. Micah has cerebral palsy. What causes cerebral palsy is lack of oxygen to the brain. So Micah was born with cerebral palsy, but if you have a car accident or you have any kind of injury that shuts off oxygen to your brain for any length of time, you can get cerebral palsy. Cerebral palsy is brain damage. So what Micah has on a CAT scan is she has an assault to the brain on the right side of her head. She has an assault to the brain on the left side of her head. It took me many, many years to figure this out, but what I think happened is I think Micah had 2 seizures while I was pregnant with her. I remember both times when this happened, exactly what was going on, but it was like there was a basketball inside of my tummy going boom, 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 boom. And then it went away, and, eventually she was moving around, and it was my first pregnancy. I never even mentioned it to my midwife. Had I been going to a doctor, I probably wouldn't have mentioned it to him. So I think that's what happened, and that correlates with the assault on the left and the right side of her brain. So Micah's got a little bit of both sides of her brain that are affected by cerebral palsy. So, Micah was born at home, and then obviously we had to take her to the hospital. When she was born, she was very listless. She wasn't moving around and doing what babies are supposed to be doing when they're first born. So we took her to the hospital. Micah went to one hospital, and I went to another hospital. It's been so long I don't even remember what hospitals we were at. This was in Houston, Texas. And I went to one, and when I was released, then Micah stayed at, it probably was Children's Hospital. She stayed there for 21 days, and she had seizures while they didn't discover the seizures until she was in the nursery, just a regular nursery, overnight. No one discovered the seizures until the next day. Micah was born at 9 p.m. The next morning, William is on his way to the hospital to go pick up Micah, and I wasn't feeling very well, so I'm on the phone calling everybody saying, oh, we had a baby, had a baby, had a baby. And in the middle of calling everybody, I get a phone call from the hospital saying Micah can't go home because she's having seizures. So they discovered that something wasn't right, and then they put her in ICU. So there's always been a question of how much more damage took place because she was in the regular nursery overnight. Nobody was really thinking. So we will stop the story right here, and I will pick up again, and we will